live. Hey, how's it going? This is a first for Financial Certainty Friday, which is that I have a guest in my office right now, which is pretty fun. So, shout out to Tiffany on our team, who is holding my phone, trying to make all this happen. And I think we're going to dial in Ty here in a second to join us to help sort of facilitate if anybody has questions or comments. Hopefully that's the case. Tiffany, just give me a thumbs up if you see people are starting to join, or if it's just us.
Yeah, Ty just joined on with us.
Perfect. Do you want to hit the invite so that he can jump on?
Yes.
Great. And then
That's great.
we'll keep going.
Let's do it. I'm excited to answer lots of questions about financial matters.
That is your wheelhouse.
Make
sure that this is all me.
My credibility. The thing I always ask when we're looking at potentially partnering with somebody, whether it's within our firm or organizations, bringing somebody on, I always want to know what that person's character is, what their competency is, and then what their capacity is.
Okay.
And my competency within financial matters is I went to public school.
This is
gonna be easy.
You're pretty good at adding, so
Yeah.
If someone's got some sort of mathematical question,
That's right.
Throw that your way.
I'm gonna say, Siri, what is the answer to? Siri's my question.
Do we have Ty?
Yeah, I invited him.
Invited?
He is
All right,
not. Come on, Ty.
So this is really meta right now because when I look to the left, I can see my computer screen and myself and Alan up on the screen, but there's like a 10-second delay. So when I just move my hand,
Yeah.
That's weird. Well, why don't we get started, and hopefully Ty will jump in here and we can see questions and comments. He just said.
Okay, sending.
So, all right. Well, if you could, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
And what it is, who you are, what you do, and then we'll kind of get into the topic that we had teed up.
Yeah. The truth is that we've known each other now for probably going on almost 10 years. Probably maybe 2-3 years shy of that. But meeting back in my franchising days, and you had just taken this organization from where you had kind of been running in your own lane and now bringing people on. And so it's been cool to see the the morphing of that. And that kind of leads into what I've been doing the last 3 years, which is I'm a partner in a leadership and management coaching consulting firm here in Seattle. So the primary focus is how do we help people grow in a healthy, sustainable way that ultimately whatever the journey or the pathway that we're growing on, we don't end up hating ourselves or hating others in the process. So my name is Alan Anderson, and I am a partner at Shondell Group. Probably the last piece by way of introduction is what a Shondell is. So a Shondell is actually a French aviation term for the quickest way to climb to the next altitude while changing directions. And that's basically what we do. We help organizations grow to the next level.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've worked together, I think, a few times with respect to Nth Degree. And the one that comes to mind in particular is this organizational health methodology that you invented, really. Maybe you could speak about that for a second.
Yeah, totally. In a lot of ways, we synthesized that from, I probably worked through maybe 7 to 10 different books. And the genesis of that is we had worked with a couple of clients. One in particular had engaged with us to help grow the organization and do that through growing the individuals. And what happens typically is someone in a leadership or management type role can say, we need to go here, and they're at the front of the train, and then we've got all the other people in various compartments and cars, and so we have kind of this delayed reaction. And so getting in and working with this organization, what we found out was probably about 6 weeks in that what was asked for and what was told that we need outcomes was actually not really what we needed. So dove into the books, locked into folks that had gone into what it looks like to grow healthy organizations or people and try to figure out, is there a way that we can, in a short amount of time, have an exercise that lets us really figure out what we think is it actually reality. And so for all intents and purposes, we created what we call the Organizational Health Diagnostic, which is an hour-long exercise in the conference room or the boardroom, and we assess the 3 primary areas of an organization, and that are those are priorities, those are people, and those are performance, which is typically process systems, processes, and tools.
Yeah.
Ty's on.
I figured
He's
it out.
here.
Ty is here.
Yes.
Welcome. Thanks for figuring it all out.
Yeah, I had to turn my phone.
So we were just talking a little bit. There it is. Thanks for wearing your best unitard today, Ty, for this
For your viewing pleasure.
Ty is about, a week away from a bodybuilding competition?
Yep. About the 11th.
Let's see. Well, we can't hear Ty yet, but I'm sure we'll figure that out here in a second. Thanks for wearing your best unitard to this. Can you try and turn up the volume, Tiffany, and see if
Yes.
we can hear him there? Otherwise,
I can hear him
Okay.
on
Cool.
my end.
So we were Alan was just talking about this organizational health diagnostic that they created, and we had Ty jump in to help us sort of facilitate things, since this is the first time that I've done a Facebook Live with someone live and in person in my office, which was a lot of fun.
You're doing a bang-up job.
So when we did the organizational health approach that we were talking about, the biggest takeaway was that we were actually sharing much information with our team, but it was always very important for me that understands the game that we're playing. So the analogy I always make is if you were an NFL football player, for example, you're not going onto the field without some idea of what the game plan is, and otherwise you're not going to win. The coaches have not like it's all. Yeah, that's right. And in most organizations, what ends up happening is that they have a bunch of players and they have no idea what the actual game plan is, and so there's a bunch of chaos. So my solution to that was to be radically transparent about what's going on. And the feedback that we got from the organization health, you guys are too transparent, and we're having a hard time figuring out what is a brainstorming exercise versus what is something we're actually doing.
We're implementing this initiative.
Right. So it was just like an immediate aha moment about why traction and some basic staff is actually that was a cool takeaway. Just immediate adjustments.
Yeah. If you think about it, when we're looking at whether it's your personal or professional, what we need to remember is that we're first human. And I think one of the things that we had talked about, I may be jumping the gun here, Dan, but the truth is, as a society, we aren't great at deciphering between meaning and problems. And when you think about it, practically speaking, what do we do when we feel pain? Typically go the other way, right? And so what we need to do is we need to pause for a minute. When we start to feel pain, that actually needs to be a red flag that says pause. Am I at the space where I've got a breaking point pain where this is going to snap? Or am I actually experiencing breaking point pain and I just don't know that this thing's becoming? And when you go into place of growing pain, you're not actually so it actually ties a great example where he wouldn't push past the pain when he's moving the barbell up with more weight on it, then people would feel the same size.
Yeah,
And so, exactly right. If that were me in the leotard, that would be a good start.
Yeah, but I guess maybe I can use in the comments since we're having a hard time hearing you. Can you just let us know, is it a unitard that you're wearing or a leotard? Because there's still some confusion about what that is. And also for those of you that are joining us right now, if this is helpful, if you could just throw a comment in there, yes, the direction you guys are going in terms of understanding pain, that's helpful. or anything, any questions you have, which would be appreciated. Okay, so I said it's a good start all the way. So it's good to clean up.
Strong
progress.
My bad.
Sorry, Tom. So yeah, this idea. So really, our topic for today with Alan, organizational health leadership expert, is what he's seeing when he's interacting with small to medium-sized companies in terms of what's happening when they're experiencing pain, and that what we need to do. I think what you just said was take a kind of hard stop and reevaluate things rather than run from that pain.
That's right.
Sort of most are practicing what I would call avoidance.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And what happens when you get a client that's been avoiding all of the necessary functions, especially within their accounting and their organization? Is it just, for every day that they avoid it, does it just have that amount of days worth of work that you guys become done, or does there end up being exponential growth?
Right. Yeah. No, it's exponential. Or to take things to the nth degree, I would say it's a logarithmic situation. Failed it on the math reference. Yeah. Unfortunately, no one ever comes to us. I imagine always things are really on fire and burning. I'm still waiting for the scenario when someone comes and they're like, "Hey, everything is awesome. I would just like to pay you a bunch of money." Like a really cool person. That is yet to happen. I'm waiting for that. It's always like I haven't filed my taxes in a few years. I'm having massive cash flow issues. I can't make sense of what's going on in the business. Those are the like symptoms of things that are representative of sort of like this bigger macro issue, which is fear or shame or some kind of that's prevent them from kind of taking the next step.
When we think about it too, the thing that we never were taught, at least in this kind of Western context, is for the most part, we need to think in terms of three categories. And some parts of IT, the IT industry does this already, and we need to adopt this across all industries. We need to think in terms of what am I reacting to, what am I being proactive in, and where can I start to predict the future. So we start to think reactively, proactively, and predictively. That allows us to gain control. That allows us to control what we can control. So it's just like going back to the pain and lifting weights analogy. If my growth is tied to a growing pain, I embrace that much more easily than I had no idea. I thought it was like the old SNL characters with Dana Carvey and his counterpart, where they're lifting foam. Barbells or weights or things like that. It's not real pain, right? It's just I'm going to pump you up, and in reality, it's a joke on things, right?
Right.
When we're if you think about it, probably realistically, our society is probably somewhere between 90% reactive. We're always reacting.
Right.
Always reacting. So recruiter reaches out, I react to take that by asking, is it greater compensation, and then do I like the job? Which is in and of itself kind of reversed.
Yeah.
Probably 7 to 8% are proactive, where they're really getting out there. They're designing their life. They're designing, personal, professional, what they want to do. They're reverse engineering, so to speak. And then we have about 2% that are active, where they can start to see what does it look like. So I think the thing I would send to you guys, maybe this is a take home for today, is when we're coming into work with an organization, our whole approach is transformation. So if I have a transformational approach, I don't want you to become codependent on me, just like you don't want your clients to become codependent on you, learn the necessary tools and steps that they need to do, and then do it themselves, and then they can work with us, right? So in that space, the ability to do that, we need to get really great as professionals, and especially as leaders, as executive level or senior level leaders. We need to be archaeologists back in history, and we can do that within our organization, we can do that societally, we can do that within business. We get really good at understanding truth and reality of how things played out, because the history usually repeats itself. And we also need to be architects, where we're now thinking, okay, knowing what I know about this, how do I start to design
the future. And if I can be a great archaeologist and architect, then I've got a fighting chance to be more in the proactive realm than reactive. Because we're all going to have to be reactive. God forbid
Sure.
we leave today and I go get hit by a bus. My wife is reacting to
Sure.
that, right? Or there's implications of that. But there's much more of our life that we can actually be proactive in than we're willing to embrace what to do. Because it's not we have to then embrace the starting things because it takes discipline, it takes planning.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of really good takeaways that hopefully you guys took down here. This notion of are you stuck in a reactive state, which we're saying 90% of folks are. That's just where the education is. And how do you move to being not just proactive but more predictive?
What's going on, Jimmy?
Making.
How you doing, man?
That's a huge takeaway. And being an archaeologist, using the past to make decisions, and an architect, planning out and being thoughtful and methodical in terms of how you're approaching things. So, those knowledge bombs, and it certainly aligns with the way that we think about financial certainty. So, thanks everybody, appreciate it, and see you next week.
Yeah.